Well, for more on China's manufacturing sector, let's bring in now Ralph Winnie. He's the Director of Global Business Development for the Eurasian Business Coalition's China program. Thanks for coming in.
Glad to be with you.
So let's kind of start at a 40,000-foot view.
Okay.
Is it fair to say that the trade war is the reason that the Chinese manufacturing sector is slowing down?
I think there's a perception that that's the case. I think what Trump is trying to do is to promote free and fair trade. At least that's what his administration has been pushing in an effort to get the Chinese to deal, which is why you're seeing the Chinese government willing to lower tariffs on steel, textiles, and metals, including steel, to 8.4% starting on November 1st, and also tariffs on wood and paper, minerals, and gemstones will fall to 5.4% from 6.6% as well starting on November 1st. And the Chinese have did this back in July, reduced the tariff on consumer goods in an effort to show that they wanted to deal with the United States. So we'll just see how this continues to develop.
Have we already seen some disruptions resulting from this tariff war?
You're seeing Chinese suppliers that are leaving the U.S. and looking for other markets. You're seeing SMEs that
small and medium-sized
enterprises, yes. They are not hiring as many people, and that decline is supposed to continue through the next quarter. But I think what you're also finding is that the tariffs could actually allow China to be perceived as more of a politically stable market.
How so?
Well, allowing people to evaluate the yuan and maybe moving away from the dollar as a form of reserve currency, and allowing China to promote the yuan on the global stage. And the tariffs may also pressure China to reform their economic structure. Already you're seeing that they have reduced their market entry limitations to attract more investment and enhance intellectual property and really promote high tech.
So this kind of goes to the heart of what the Trump administration says this whole trade war is about, whether tariffs are an end to themselves or a tool to get a better deal for both parties, or at least from the United States, for the United States. You're saying you're seeing progress as a result of the tariffs already. Is that because the tariffs are an end to themselves in your view, or because they're getting results in the course of getting to an ultimate deal?
I think the idea is to get the results. I mean, if you look at Trump, if you understand Trump's mindset, he's not a politician, he's not a diplomat. He markets himself as a businessman. So it's all about, what can you do for me? It's about negotiating a deal that he thinks is going to be beneficial for the American people.
But there is some sense that it's beneficial for the Chinese people as well, because President Xi said the current trade tensions are not really a bad thing, that it lets China become more self-reliant. And you could argue, and I don't think President Xi is arguing this, but you could argue that the U.S. is sort of playing the bad cop and giving China's domestic economy a way to evolve.
Well, the Chinese can go to other markets and sell their products. They don't have to rely on the U.S. I mean, that's what the tariffs have shown. Now, the U.S., now that they have signed this deal between Mexico and Canada, could also say the same thing. But U.S. and China are inextricably linked.
Very much so.
And I cannot see each side closing down their market entirely. That's why you hear the Trump administration saying, we're not in a trade war. It's all about negotiation. It's a trade negotiation. It's really the pundits or the politicians that talk about being a trade war.
So the statistics that I just read in introducing you, a rising unemployment in the sector with employers cutting staff at the fastest rate in more than a year. Is that something that you see as a prolonged trend?
I don't see it as a prolonged trend because I think the business community in both the U.S. and China are really going to lobby their governments. In fact, one of our clients in Massachusetts, we've been helping them work with their member of Congress and their senator to file an exemption because they do wire mesh fencing. And you're going to see more of that in both the U.S. and China, putting a lot of pressure through their politicians to really come to, an agreement that promotes free and fair trade. And that's what the Trump administration keeps saying. we want free and fair trade for both the U.S. and China.
You know, we talked a little bit about the Chinese stimulus plan. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on how that can address some of these issues as well.
Well, I think that the stimulus plan will enable money to be spent in areas to promote new sectors of business opportunity and really grow and enhance the economy. As long as the money goes directly into stimulus and not into the hands of politicians, which is one of the criticisms of the Obama stimulus package, was it went into state governments, but it really didn't get into the hands of the people or into specific projects. It was sent to government, and they were supposed to allocate the money. So I think as long as the stimulus goes directly into targeted investment, I think it will be very successful.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Ralph Winnie, thanks again for your time and perspective.
Glad to be with everyone.